Okay, we're talking about files and resources now in this video. So the concept is that you have a filing system associated with your profile on Finalsite, and that is a sort of master system that covers all of your groups that you're involved with. So that's really the place to be putting your resources when you want to use them in some of the groups, i.e. the classes that you're involved with. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into that filing system and we're going to make a folder. We're going to put a bunch of resources into that. And then we're going to look at it from the other side, as we're going to go into a class and then we're going to create those links to those files that you've put in there already. Okay, so it's pretty key to make sure that you create those folders first in your filing system and dump your resources in there before you try and use them somewhere else. And why is that so important? That's so important because then they're stored somewhere central and they're not just attached to one particular class, because those classes will change, and it might be that in the second semester you have different classes and then all those resources will be archived with the first semester class and you'll have to do it all over again. So it's a lot easier to imagine it like your storeroom in your classroom and it's your filing cabinet. So you put everything in there. So where to find it? I'm now at the group dashboard here. I go to files here and it pops up this window, the file manager window, and I can see that I've got 3 folders created already, a main folder and 2 subfolders within it. So I'm going to create a new folder within my ITGS folder, which is going to be called Unit 3. Oh, that's not the title of the unit. There we go. What's in the news? Create that folder. Okay, so if you like, I've just made a new folder in a drawer in a filing cabinet, and now into that folder I can upload my files. Okay, so I click on upload files. There's 3 ways to do it. First way is using the basic uploader. That's a one at a time thing. Second way is to use this email address. I can send an email with the files I want uploaded to that folder attached to them. I'm going to use the bulk uploader, which allows me to go through here. I've navigated to my place and I'm going to go through and choose the files that I want to add. Okay, it's going to add them in a second there. This one added as well, and those are going to get added here. So there you can see it's added, and then I'm going to start the upload, and that's going to upload that file. There we go, 100%. It should have uploaded into that folder. Okay, it's just refreshed itself and there it is. So I have now a file called opinionpost.pdf in that resources folder. So you're going to fill those in with whatever you need to. You're going to you will eventually go through and create a folder system that works for you. Okay, and that's something that's not going to change. That's associated with you and your Finalsite login, so it doesn't change depending on the classes or groups that you have. So now that we've made that, now let's look at it from the other side. Let's go into a particular class and look at how you'd make a resources folder for that class. Okay, so I've switched now to a class. I didn't do anything tricky there, just tried to save you a bit of time watching me. So now, as you can see, I've got resources up here. That's the class's resources. Okay, I've actually added a widget with those resources here. Okay, and I can click on manage resources there, or I can just click on resources here to be able to go and see the resources for this particular class. Okay, so now I've already got 2 folders of resources here, so let me show you how I'm going to make a new folder of resources for that 3rd unit that I've just put a resource up in my filing system for. So I'm going to go new folder. Okay, so this is a new folder of resources for this particular class. Okay, give it a name. Okay, you can describe it. Here you can play around with the date, so it only appears at a certain time for the students. sometimes it makes sense. If you want to be organizing things, say over a weekend, you know you're not going to need them available for your students for a while, and you don't want them to see it because it might confuse them. So that's there. Other thing that you can do here is you can share the folder between various different groups. Okay, that means that you're going to be able to have one folder that's similar to that created for your other classes. But a better way to do that is to make it a dynamic folder. Okay, the reason why is because when I hit browse here, I can link that folder so that it just mirrors, if you like, the folder that I have on my file manager. Okay, so I'm going to select that folder. So what I've done is I've just made it a dynamic folder mirroring that folder called Unit 3 What's in the News on my main filing system. Okay, save that and have a look what it looks like. Okay, there's the folder created for this particular class, and when I open it up, you'll see in there that opinion post. So I didn't have to upload any more resources. Those resources, all it's doing is just pointing it directly to that filing system. Okay, so it's a very quick way to do it and a very neat way to do it, and it means you don't end up with lots of different copies of the same resource, which would be a waste of your effort and a waste of storage space. So that's how to put a resource up from a resource that you've got saved somewhere onto the filing system. I'll show you about different types of resources in other videos, but that's the main thing. The key tip: use that filing system, the file manager that's underneath here, to make those files, put those files up into folders on your main file manager before you try and bring them into your groups. Okay, hope you found that useful.